Feels good to be back, don't it,
It
homie?
does. How are you?
I'm good. We talked about this a little earlier, but we have fun doing this.
Yep.
And
Tell them the story about the Michael Bublé video. That is why we're back.
yeah, we're back because I watched that the other day, and it just like we had a blast with Nick, and it was so fun. And I went back and watched some of the other ones too, just a little bit here and there, and like Caroline Matthias, and the fact that we got Jesse the Banana Man on here, like it had him on here, and Pat Badger. I watched the Pat Badger one back too. I'm like, that was such a good show.
So those are two really good ones. I'll give you an example why. Because remember when Pat was on our show, he talked about during COVID how he had gotten canceled to open for Aerosmith.
Yep.
That happened last weekend.
Did it really?
At Fenway Park.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Congratulations, Pat.
Yeah, and on top of that, Jesse is we'd never be able to get him back now. I mean, he's been on the Today Show. He's
how just absolutely incredible is that when you look back on that one? And one of my favorites too. Gosh, why can I not think of his name? The guy that had the guy who had Britney Spears written on the wall back here. Oh, what's his name?
Oh, yes. What was his name?
So good. He was so great. I could picture his face, and I had it in my mind earlier, but so good. And Bold CEO, having him on, I always have to just call him Bold CEO. So I wanted to ask you about that. You saw him and iRock Racing. That's all. Can't tell you their names. That's how I know them. Right.
Right. So Brian Cristiano, shout out to you, Brian, if you're watching. Actually moved up from New York City to New Hampshire, so he's like a half hour north of me. And he had introduced us to one of his clients, and now we're doing the marketing for them for the last couple of years as a law firm in New York City. Andrew Smiley, shout out to Andrew. And Andrew is an avid Porsche and sim racer. It just turns out that iRacing.com is a client of ours. So it was a perfect storm. He came up for a visit. We introduced them to iRacing. We went to lunch. He drove his Porsche G40, I think it is, with me in it, 90 miles an hour through a parking lot. It was a wild day, but so it was good to have Brian. We should have Brian on again sometime.
Oh, no doubt.
Some knowledge, right?
He's a guy that he's a guy that I look for on Instagram.
Right.
I just look for him. Maybe we throw out a couple of shots on goal here. Wes, throw up shots on goal.
You go first.
I will. One of my new favorite follows on the gram, you've got to follow Diamond Dallas Page.
Okay.
This guy throwing up some Instagram reels that are just really good. And it's not wrestling stuff. It's just good, like insightful, real world stuff. And some of them are 20 seconds and some of them are a minute. And if you have Instagram, you must follow Diamond Dallas Page. The guy is incredible. And it's just, there is so much negativity on social media and I hate it. But there's a lot of positive out there. You've got to go find it. And he's a guy, if you want positive in your life, you got to follow Diamond Dallas Page.
I absolutely will write that down. Do you got any more?
Yeah, I got one more. I'm not a big college football fan, but can you imagine being an LSU fan this week? Like you paid like $400 million a game to get Brian Kelly. And I bet he's wishing that he's back at Notre Dame.
Right.
Lost the game the way they came back, but then they miss an extra point and then they miss a field goal or something like that.
Yeah.
And to lose a game, to lose that way. Man, if you're him, it's heartbreaking. You'll learn and you get better from it. And it was their first game, but it was, I think, Florida State's second.
Yeah.
So they go Bucks up there.
So wasn't it a block field goal, a block extra point?
Yeah.
Right.
Block
I don't know who it was, but I know that it was, and I'm not a huge college football fan, living in, the area of the 6-time world champions. But I happened to flip by ESPN or Fox Sports, and Appalachian State was playing somebody, and it was like 63-60. And I'm thinking, what are they playing? Every defense is a high school defense or something,
Well, I was actually at my friend Dustin Jones's house watching the OU game, and that keeps popping up. And then it went final, and I thought, well, this must have gone to OT.
Right.
And there's it was just boom, 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 boom. And Appalachian State left too much time on the clock, 3 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they lose. It was crazy to me that you see a game like that. And then there was another game, I think, what was it? Oregon flies across the country, they score 3 points, against Georgia.
Right.
It's so bizarre. And you know what? Like I said, I watch Oklahoma, I watch Oklahoma State, I watch the University of Tulsa, but I'm just not a college sports guy. I'm like you, 6-time champ, world champ.
Yeah.
So what else?
All right, so I got a shot on goal. Wes, can you put it up? I've got this new thing I'm calling. My shot on goal is 2 questions for Bam. All right.
Gotcha.
All right.
Thank you. That's all right. Let's do that.
Okay. 2 questions for Bam. Live golf, good or bad? And why?
I get the negative side maybe of live golf. Because of maybe what some people look at it and think it stands for and why are golfers going there. I also think there's a lot of scratch involved, and you know what? It's a job. We look at them and we put them up on this pedestal. That's their job.
Right.
So if I can get a guaranteed $20 million and go play some golf, I'm what was the question? Good or bad?
Good or bad, and why?
I think it's actually good for the game of golf. Some of the stuff that came out of last weekend's tournament, maybe in Boston, where it was a little more relaxed than a PGA, tournament. I'm going to say good. Good.
Yep. Well, I saw I think it was a TikTok that had Greg Norman on it announcing that he's going to allow them to wear shorts.
Good.
Why not?
Right.
Not? Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I want to play golf in shorts. I play golf in shorts.
Okay. Second question.
Yes, sir.
Do Tom and Giselle make it? I'm really worried about the kids.
No, they're done.
Yeah. And it's all on the fact. Do you think it's all on the fact that he lied to her and quit football and came back? I think there was a problem before that.
I think there's that there's always a problem before that, which every time I see any article about that, you know what I instantly think? Every time you see a hot chick, there's some dude tired of putting up their shit. I think that, right?
She's worth $400 million.
She's the breadwinner in that. She makes more than he does.
Well, he's going to get alimony, right?
You'd hope. There's always, you see when people split and whatever, and there's always more to it. And what was that?
Well, Sophie is slacking me, telling me that she hasn't eaten all of the Oreos.
Well, do you have any of that lasagna left over? That's what I
know. The lasagna was a big hit, and it looked
awesome. Awesome.
It was good.
Yeah, I think Tom and Giselle will be done by mid-season. I think they're done. Or the other one was there was 2 other. He had some Botox or something done, and then also maybe he was on the Masked Singer or something.
Yeah. So when I think about those kind of things, the Botox or facial stuff done, the Masked Singer, him taking a announcing job with Fox when he's done, I think of this. Michael Jordan would never do that. That's why he's in a different league.
Michael Jordan went and played.
What's that?
Baseball. I mean,
I know, because he was running from gambling. Come on,
true.
We all know that.
True.
We all know that.
True.
All right, I have a bonus question.
Yes,
Wes, can you throw that up, please? All right, is that your next Porsche, the electric?
Taycan? That's the Taycan, right? No, that's
the Mission R.
Yeah, that I don't know what that is. I would love to have that, but no, that is not my next one. I'll tell you, I'm having a little bit of FOMO right now on my previous Porsche because it was the small little, and this one's the little SUV model, and it's fun and it's pretty quick. But I kind of miss it. And so 13 months can't get here soon enough for my new one to get here. So,
and what are you getting?
The electric Taycan.
There you go.
So I'll have 2 at that point.
Those are my shots on goal, or
awesome.
as I like to call, 2 questions for Bam.
I love it. By the way, shout out to our boy Wes. Wes, where are you at? Jump up here for a second, because there's probably nobody watching right now, and that's okay. But I look at this.
I know he's a handsome devil.
Oh, he is. I see him hanging out having dinners with Randy the Road Warrior Savage, and all sorts of stuff. So he's
so we've all had dinner with. You've had dinner, Wes, with Randy a couple of times. I have in Florida and in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
You have in Tulsa, right?
Yeah.
He's spectacular. Christine fell in love with him. He was great.
He actually is, and not like we're just chatting right now. This is my Randy shot on goal. But what a good dude.
Speaking of the big Randu, he said, "Hey fellas,"
there you go.
And who can say "Go Blue"? And I know it's him because he never shows up on StreamYard.
Who's that?
That's Randy.
That's Randy.
That's Randy right there. No, we think about all of us meeting through Megamind and whatever, and you look at Randy, and I look at Randy as probably the guy that carries the torch the most, and partially because of help from this guy of literally being that hybrid guy where instead of just being on the road all the time, I don't know of a guy that I see more on social media than him and Sean Litvak.
No doubt.
And Sean's a guy, you talk about video, and I Googled Sean Litvak's name the other day, and all these videos come up, and it's so cool. I'm doing a presentation in Toledo in October. It was in front of a bunch of pizza people, and talk about video and how important it is, and to leave this video digital legacy forever to be seen. And just like doing this for us, I think we'll have grandkids or great grandkids that may, instead of seeing just a still photo and be like, "Oh, I look like Pawpaw Tim," right? It'd be like, "Holy crap!" I turned my head like you'll see mannerisms. It's cool.
Could you, since this is going to be for the ages, could you pick up your phone and show your future children, and your future children their mother?
No, I got nothing at this point. I don't know if I'm gonna have any more kids. So
two beautiful ones.
I have three beautiful ones.
That's right. Two beautiful.
Yeah, I have three. So let's get into this. Let's talk a little football. We're talking some NFL today, and I want to pull this up, and we'll start with the AFC East.
Okay.
And we're familiar with the division: Bills, Dolphins, Pats, Jets. We both got the Bills coming out of this division, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and really, and not to get too far in, but really probably my Super Bowl pick, and I don't know why it wouldn't be, is the Bills going to the Super Bowl to represent the AFC. What do you think?
Yeah, it's I've got the Bills, Pats, Fins, Jets and the Jets just announced today that Joe Flacco is their starter. So what's going on with Wilson? Is he just bad or is he hurt?
I think he's probably just bad.
Yeah.
And really the Dolphins and the Pats, the homer in me wants to say the Pats are going to win, 10 games and go 10-7, but I could easily see them going 7-10.
Yeah, I got the Pats at 9-8. I got the Fins at 8-9. So that is, that is as close as it's going to get. So I do have the Bills coming out of the East and all the way to the Super Bowl.
AFC West: Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. This is always a tough division. I love Russell Westbrook basketball. I love Russell with the Broncos. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. The Raiders are going to be pretty good. The Chargers, great quarterback play last year. What do you think about this division?
I like the Bolts. I like the Bolts to win the division.
Really?
Yeah. And
really?
I'm taking them as to win the division by one game over the Chiefs. And Raiders, Denver. I mean, Denver's got other than Russell Wilson. They got nothing.
You're really going to take the Chargers in this division?
I am.
Wow. See, I'm going to take the Broncos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're going to be inspired, man. I think it's going to be a much better team, quarterback that can play, the proven winner. So
you got Josh McDaniels back to form in last place?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100%. I'm going to go Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. But in a really contested division, I could see somebody winning this division at 9-8. I think they're all pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
All right, AFC North. What do you got?
God, I got Baltimore. If they're healthy, is really going to be tough to beat. But I'm going to stick with Cincy. Cincy, I like Joe Burrow a lot. Yeah. I know that Rich Falar is not going to like this, but I've got Pittsburgh and the Browns fighting for was it the where those three rivers come together,
Right.
who's going to be the worst of those two,
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. I think the Ravens, if they put it all together, can be really good. My issue with the Ravens is the reason why I think they won't ever get to a Super Bowl is quarterback play.
Right.
And I like Lamar Jackson, but I think when it comes to the playoffs, mobile running quarterbacks like that don't do well. They don't finish.
Yeah, can you name
a quarterback like him that's won a Super Bowl? You can't.
Right, I was going to say, can you name another quarterback? You've seen quarterbacks go to the Super Bowl. Cam Newton. I can't really name another Steve Young, maybe. I don't know. Steve Young.
I don't know. I think Steve Young ran when he had to, but he wasn't like a let me pull it and just take off, was he?
Well, he had a great arm for a lefty. Every time a lefty throws a ball, I really get concerned.
Wes, look this up for me. Where did Steve Young rank all-time passing yards and rushing yards? I'd be curious. Is he a top 20 all-time passing yard?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd say he might even be top 10. Nah,
right.
Maybe not top 10.
Right. I love you, Joe Burrow. I think that guy, I think they come back. I think they're going to have a great season. Can we talk about just how much of a mess of a franchise the Browns are? I still am baffled by Deshaun Watson. Like, look, if you don't like Baker Mayfield, I'm cool with that. Right? But they gave so much away to get a quarterback. They don't even know if he can play. And now he can't play, 11 games?
Yeah, he can't play 11 games, and it's almost like the Browns are, well, it was Cleveland, right? In the movie Major League when the owners wanted to lose everything, it's Cleveland,
Yeah. Yeah. All right, AFC South, Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans. What do you got?
Well, I think that Houston is going to be vying for the first pick in the next year's draft. That's how bad they're going to be. But I get the Colts. I get the Colts coming out of that.
Yeah, I'm going to say Colts or Titans. I think they're both going to be pretty close. Colts,
it's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be close. Yeah.
Colts quarterback play. I mean, we're talking about, what's his name that came from Atlanta?
Oh yeah, Matt Ryan from BC,
Ryan.
Boston College, right?
Right. Boston College guy, right? Who I think sometimes just changing locations is a huge thing. I think he's going to have a big year, but I still, you still got to. The Titans are going to run the ball and run all over you and kill you, and I'm right there with you. I'm going to say Titans and Colts.
When it comes to Matt Ryan, I think that he's past his prime. Right? He's got maybe 2 or 3 years left, in my opinion. But the tattoo of 28-3 that's on his soul will never be lifted.
Right. No, all right, let's go to the NFC. We're going to start with the NFC South.
Okay.
So Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks.
Well, it depends. If Tom is
married
or distracted, around that. New Orleans could sneak in. I think Atlanta, not Carolina for sure.
Right.
But yeah, I'm going to give it to Tom. I mean,
yeah.
Tom's able to separate his legacy from his personal life pretty good.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him. If, where there's smoke, there's fire. Can he put that aside? Because I'll tell you, going through a divorce and still trying to work, and you're mentally so just like,
and he doesn't have his binky either.
Yeah. Right. Or exactly. And by the way, the Saints are intriguing to me. Jameis Winston, if you look at his numbers through last season, you know whose numbers are identical to? Tom Brady.
No kidding.
Look it up. And then you talk about the Panthers and, Baker Mayfield, does he come out with a chip on his shoulder? That guy from high school through college has played with a chip on his shoulder. And when he does, he's dangerous.
Well, they might not end up in last place, but they're not going to. Yeah.
Right.
How about who do you have in the East?
I was just looking at that, and I think it's going to be a runaway for your Philadelphia Eagles.
I was thinking the same thing. So here, Boston Impressions is not a completely perfect place to work. And the reason is we do have a Philly, a Eagles fan that works here. But, I told him this morning that I was going to be on the show and that I was going to pick, his Eagles to come out of the East. And I thought he was going to, there was a little tear. There was a little cry.
I think Jalen Hurts with another year under him. I think they've got a good, group around him. I think they're going to, I don't want to say run away with it, but I think Dallas will be in second, then the Giants and then Washington football team or Commanders or whatever dead last. But but the Cowboys could sneak in there. You never know.
Yeah, Cowboys look if they are healthy, but I still think the Eagles are going to be great.
All right.
What about the North?
Packers, zero doubt. Pack all the way. Pack big.
Yeah, who's in last in that division?
Lions big.
Lions big.
Lions are big in last place.
All right, I was
Lions, Tigers, and Bears all in last place. But I think the Vikings are going to be good again, but not great.
I caught the end of Hard Knocks, and their coach was an absolute mess, crying. But I'm still going to pick the Bears to come in last in that.
Yeah. Well, there's a kid from Oklahoma State, local kind of Tulsa kid, Malcolm Rodriguez, who's got drafted in the 6th or 7th round by the Lions. He's a linebacker and really on Hard Knocks looked great and won himself a starting job. So it'll be intriguing to watch that guy. And then we've got the NFC West. We've got the last year's Super Bowl champ. What say ye there?
Well, I'm going to have them winning the division again. I'm not going to have them going to the Super Bowl. Ooh. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm picking Green Bay, Buffalo. That's the spoil right there. And I think that Seattle will absolutely have the first pick in next year's draft. The worst team in football.
Steve Young, not even in top 20 in yards rushing, yards passing.
Crazy.
Rated number 81 NFL player all time. Now he won't be in the top 20 in rushing because he's not a running back, he's quarterback. But Wes, where is he in the top 20 or top 100 in passing yards? I'm curious. But by the way, your pick, Green Bay Buffalo, right here.
Yep.
That's what I have written down as well.
No kidding. See, great mind.
I'm like, I don't like this, but I'm going to pick Buffalo to win this thing.
Me too.
Josh Allen is incredible, and for a dude that came out of Wyoming, and the knock on him was he wasn't an accurate passer. Dude's an accurate passer. He's a big dude. He can run the ball when he needs to and pick up first downs. He knows the offense. And the reason why I'm picking Green Bay as well, another guy, you talk about Aaron Rodgers, chip on his shoulder like this, this season to come out and win and play well. And I think he will. I like both those picks. I could see Buffalo, Kansas City in the AFC East, and I could see Green Bay and the Rams. That's not. It's not nothing crazy. And you know what? My sleeper pick in all this, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think that's quite a possibility. I think that I think Buffalo getting Von Miller, who is a proven winner. Wherever he goes is huge, and he's had a whole career of having been thought of as undersized and so on and so forth. There you go.
Steve Young. So, all right, Wes, I'm going to throw one more at you. What were his rushing yards for his career? Because I'm curious if you take his passing yards and his rushing yards, you throw them together, he's probably ahead of some of these other guys, like maybe an Eli Manning,
he's Hall of Fame, right?
Oh, yeah. He's already in the Hall of Fame. But, you look at the guys that have retired. Some of these guys have retired recently, like Phillip Rivers. That dude's a top 10 all-time passing yards. I don't know if people realize that.
Right.
Eli Manning, top 10 passing yards, top 10 wins. People don't realize that. Of course, he played there a long time.
Yeah, and they changed the rules. The rules. Some of these quarterbacks got beaten up.
Yeah.
So – all right, so I have one more. I know we're almost at that time, but I have one more question for you. Who's the first coach to be fired this year?
Wes Wyatt. So, you look at that number, 4,200 rushing yards. That's big for a quarterback.
Well, that's about 4,000 more than Tom Brady's had his whole career.
Probably true. True. Who's the first coach to get fired? That's a great question. You go, and I'll think about that for a second.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I can see that. But do you not give him grace based on what he's done?
Yeah,
And
he might want to step
another
away
season?
though. I mean, because he's not really built for rebuilding a franchise. His
I
days-
gotta. You know, who's the head coach with the 49ers?
Oh,
Tom Brady.
Harbaugh? Is it Harbaugh?
No, he's with Baltimore.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. I could see that just blowing up. I could see, you got Jimmy G sitting there as a backup, the highest paid backup in the NFL. You got the kid from 2 years ago got drafted who's supposed to start, and I could just see that just being a huge mess and a nightmare. And what I can't even think of the kid's name now, the quarterback. But if he's
is it Fields? Justin Fields?
no, that he's in Chicago.
Oh, right.
But if this kid plays and he doesn't play well, then they're calling for Jimmy Garoppolo, and then if Garoppolo comes in and plays okay, and then he's not, I could see this being back and forth and just being a friggin' mess. By the way, Tom Brady has 1,124 yards rushing, so
That's wild.
yeah, I remember when he hit 1,000 yards and it was like a big deal,
Right. So, how does Mac Jones do in his second season? Step forward or step back?
Oh, I think it's a big step forward. Like you live in here more than I do. You think about like the way the conditioning and the way everyone talks about how he looks and he looks better and they had a rough offseason as far as maybe putting in some new offensive stuff. But you know what? I think they're going to be just fine. I think they're going to be just fine. I will be proudly wearing my Mac Jones shirt on Sunday, and then I'll be going to Michael Bublé Sunday night. So,
wow, you are just so Metro.
oh, I got pink toenails right now. I really do, but still.
Awesome.
Hey, good seeing you today, and
You too.
we'll be back next week. I don't know our guest yet. I actually reached out to Bill Haston from the Tulsa World today, and he said, let me get back to you because Bill is always great to talk college football. So try and get him on in the next few weeks and just get rocking and rolling. We need to get Bold CEO back on. That guy's
We'll do that, and I've reached out to Kevin Rooney, so that we might be able to get him on, and Billy Johnson from the Norfolk Admirals. He's still on the list. So yeah, we got some things coming up.
very cool. All right, Wes, where are you at?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Just talking to Alexa.
So
Wes is having trouble connecting to the internet.
wait 10 seconds.
That was
and
perfect.
plug it back in.
I just can't stand that.
I wish they had a Britney Spears voice for Alexa. That would be incredible, wouldn't it?
Oh, that would be great.
I do have Samuel L. Jackson.
They do?
Yeah, and that one's fun.
They do have that now?
Yes, they do.
Oh, wow. I got to get that. I got to get that. All right, fellas. Do you know what I love about you guys?
Everything.
Everything and Frozen.